You finally have picks, and you're going to trade him away. And what they're trading him for, I like Murray. If you could get Murray, I love that move. Bogdanovic, he's not a star. You're going to give up Quentin Grimes for Bogdanovic? This is the same Quentin Grimes. You wouldn't trade him for Donovan Mitchell. That doesn't make sense. Why would you go after a Bogdanovic if you had a chance to get Donovan Mitchell? I love what Leon Rose has done. I love the OG Anunoby move. I was surprised that they made a move like that. It looks like it's working out for Toronto just as much as it's working out for the New York Knicks. Bruce Brown? Is he a star? He's a good player. I remember him on the Nets. He was having a decent season with the Pacers. I wonder where they're going with this. If you're going to give up a significant amount of draft stock, which the Knicks have, they have 6 first-round draft picks in the next 2 seasons. How does this work for the New York Knicks? Because these names that we're seeing right now, Bruce Brown, Murray, and Bogdanovic, are not the names that I want to hear. I want to hear Karl-Anthony Towns. I wanted to hear Pascal Siakam, who's now a Pacer. That makes sense on giving up a significant amount of draft stock the way we're hearing the Knicks are going to have to trade to get an impact player. These guys are not impact players. They're looking for an impact player to help Jalen Brunson. Now, they're going to say, well, we have one in Julius Randle. He is opting out of his contract at the end of the season. So you're going to make a trade for Bruce Brown, and then you're going to extend him? And then going into the offseason, what are you going to have to get a max player? You're not going to have enough money to get a max player. So you're going to give away draft picks to bring in a player that's just a fill-in player this year, re-sign him in the offseason because you're giving up a significant amount of draft stock for him. And then you're only going to have a significant amount of money where you can make a move for a little bit lower of a max player, where you're not going to get the superstar player that you thought you were going to get in the offseason. Great move for the New York Knicks. I think it's an absolute dumb move by the New York Knicks. If you're not going to get a superstar to fill in at the position that they're looking to fill in, then don't trade the picks.
There's no impact player on that list besides probably Murray, but Murray doesn't really fit with the Knicks because the Knicks have Jalen Brunson already. So you're going to lose a lot with trading for that. Those other guys are role players. Bruce Brown's a good 6th man, but not really much else. Bogdanovic, good shooter, not much else. I don't know why they're trying to use their last big asset on their roster outside of Julius Randle. They try to trade Julius Randle in order to get that. Now, unless they traded only 1 first-round pick and one of their other young players, fine. But these players are not worth Quentin Grimes, who has the highest upside. Knicks were going to do it for anything more than Donovan Mitchell. So why would they do it for a player that's worse?
All Cleveland wanted was either R.J. Barrett or Quentin Grimes, and maybe a big man. I've heard Hartenstein. I also heard Mitchell Robinson, and 3 first-round draft picks to get Donovan Mitchell, who is averaging 30 points a game right now. He's one of the best guards in the league. And the Knicks, all they had to do was get rid of Quentin Grimes. Now, all of a sudden, he doesn't fit with this roster now that OG Anunoby is there. And now you're just going to give up on him? You're going to say, we just lost a chance to get one of the best offensive players in the league who wants to be here. And we're now deciding to trade away the piece that everybody wanted last offseason and now doesn't want right now in the middle of the season, where they thought he was going to fit this roster like a glove.
I also look at them needing size. So it makes sense to trade for these other guards. Yeah, I understand they could use some more 3-point shooting. They really need size with Mitchell Robinson, not likely to be out for the rest of the season. He might come back for the playoffs, fine. Isaiah Hartenstein's held his own. Chua coming in from the Raptors trade is doing fine. But I don't think that's really the big area they have to address anyway. Any of these players being rumored are not the ones to go for right now if you're going to trade somebody like Grimes.
And also, there's other teams looking for these players. The Lakers are looking for a guard. We've heard Murray's name being brought up. We've heard Bogdanovic's name being brought up. Of course, the Knicks are going to be linked to him. I want to see the Knicks go after somebody outside of the box. Evan Fournier, nobody wants Evan Fournier. The Knicks are trying to move it. They've been trying to move him for the last 2 years. Nobody wants that contract. That was one of the worst contracts Leon Rose gave to a player.
What about Kuzma? Would you be interested in that?
I would take Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah,
He could play defense. He's a rebounder. He could score. He could give you 20 points. He could be your 6th man. He could come off the bench and give you automatic offense. Mm-hmm. He's something that the Knicks need off the bench or even as a starter. And right now, their rotation is good. You're seeing all these players start to develop. Anunoby could be a 20, 25-point guy in the future. He reminds me of a Jimmy Butler. Now, Jimmy Butler, when he was drafted and he went to the Chicago Bulls, Tom Thibodeau was there. He developed him from a defensive player to an offensive player. Now he's a two-way player, one of the best two-way players in the league. I'm not saying Anunoby is Jimmy Butler, but he reminds me of a younger version of Jimmy Butler. So I'm interested to see how this is going to work. And this team, defensively, with Anunoby, and if they could get Mitchell Robinson back before the season's over, which I'm hearing that he could be back for the playoffs, that says a lot about where this team could go throughout the playoffs. Because if you get Mitchell Robinson back, you have your paint guy. You have a guy that could defend the paint and maybe not go after a big man. Because now that you're hearing Mitchell Robinson coming back, why would you go after a big man? You could wait into the offseason. Maybe Minnesota just chokes at the end of the season or chokes in the playoffs and they say, you know what, we're not going any further with Cat. Let's trade him in the offseason. And then the Knicks have the money to spend and they have the draft stock to get him.